that. So not only did you come, you built a school, the relocation itself, how was that? Was there a culture shock? How was it?
Should we sit down and talk about
You know what, let's, because I've got a lot of questions. I'm loving your library.
Thank you very much. Yeah, most of the books were donated. I'd say about 80% donated by friends and family. Yeah.
That's great. It's a nice mix as well. Yeah. So you moved 20 years ago. You decided to stay and you met your husband here. How was it? How was that return to Africa?
Okay. Yeah, I think timing is everything, because when I came, everything was so cheap. You really got value for money. If you had a property abroad, you could collect, let's say, a couple of months' rent, and that could keep you for 6 months.
Wow.
Here. Yes. I remember when we started building, not the school, but our guest house, the cost of building 2 rooms with the bathroom and so on was less than the cost of keeping a car on the road.
What?
Yeah, I can say from rough calculations that our house, which is 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a large kitchen, an upstairs and downstairs sitting room with 2 patios upstairs and downstairs, that cost at the time, so we finished building that in 2004, and that cost the equivalent of £5,000, completely finished.
Are you serious?
Tiled, windows, roof, ceiling, everything, just the furniture.
Oh my goodness.
To move in, yeah.
Now I know why people come to me and say, this is my budget, I've got 10,000.
Yes, because they're thinking pre, multiple devaluations and inflation, the returnee factor.
We have to talk about that.
That's the other thing. Yes. So I would say when I came, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being easy, 10 being difficult, I say Ghana was an easy, comfortable 1 in terms of it being really easy. It's very, very affordable. Yes, I'm talking about the affordability now.
Yeah, in terms of easy.
Yes, yeah. As for the other things, then you would say it was a clear 10, because when we moved, there were no roads. I mean, we're still facing those challenges, but when I came, to get from Pokwasi to Accra, just to get through Achimota was about 2 hours. Yeah, because it was 1 lane. It was 1 lane in and 1 lane out. So going to Accra from Pokwasi it was like going to another country.
Literally.
Literally, yeah. Whereas now it's from Pokwasi to Achimota is about 10 minutes.
Yeah, literally today. That's what it took us. So that's why the interchange was such a big deal here.
Huge. It's meant everything and really helps the school as well. Because before, when people ask, where's the school? We'd say, well, it's off Pokwasi Junction, and then you go over the train line, and then you turn right at the woman selling the
exactly,
and then there's and then you go kiosk. Straight, and then you turn again. It's a rough road, but now we just say we're right off the Pokwasi interchange.
Yeah,
but the roads are still rough. The roads
it's developing,
haven't been done,
but it's getting there.
We're getting there slowly. So yeah, when I came, everything was crazy cheap. I say to people, it was a bit like making your own currency. You could write a figure on a piece of paper and pay somebody with it because it was so inexpensive, and that's just gone completely the other way now. I think everything is so, would I say overpriced? It feels a bit overpriced. But in terms of comfort, then of course everything has improved. if malls, cinemas, satellite TV, cafes, spas, fancy restaurants, if that's what you like, then you can come to Ghana and find it. You can have high tea in Accra for those who want that sort of thing, yeah. So there's luxury living. They've even earmarked an area in Accra. They now call it European Village. Have you seen that sign?
No.
I'll send you a picture.
Okay, send us a picture. If you've heard of it, let us know in the comments below. European Village.
European Village.
Where is it?
You'll see the signboards on the entrance to Ridge and Laboni. So they've highlighted cantonments, Ridge, Roman Ridge, and somewhere else in that. But of course, it's in the, what shall I say, around the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's those areas around the airport, which are now European Village.
Interesting. So if you're happy to say, how do you feel about those changes from how Ghana was 20 years ago to how it is now?
I wish we could have got the development without the extra cost. But I suppose the two go hand in hand. For doing business, I suppose now it's more attractive because there's more people with more money and more people with aspirations that are now moving to Ghana. But being able to provide the services is very challenging. It's so challenging. You know, I mean, we're here having an interview, hopefully to encourage more people to return. But then, as you said before we started the interview, you don't want people to come and not have a realistic understanding of what they're coming to.
Right.
And I think people do come to Ghana thinking, you know, they've seen a few YouTube videos, the best places to eat in Accra, you know, luxury properties, you know, the 10 best night spots or whatever, and the focus is on that. The focus is on the high end, but the reality is that the high end is very much just the tip of the iceberg, and the majority of Ghana isn't like that. It's not like what you'll see necessarily on the YouTube. Right. So if you're expecting Wakanda, then you're not going to last long here. Seriously, you know. There's mud, there's dust, there's strange crawling insects.
There are a lot of crawling
There's a lot of crawling things, you know, and even though I've been here, I've been on this journey for a long time, some of the crawling insects, I don't know what they are. You know, they can't all be termites.
No. You
know, or maybe there's different, what do you call it? There's different species of termite. I don't know, but yeah, so you'll get lizards, big ones, little ones, there'll be moths. It's a living, breathing continent, which isn't actually that, it's not developed.
Right, we're not there yet, not in terms of development.
With the development, you know, Ghana is not very densely populated, like most of Africa is not densely populated. I mean, I read a few years ago, not that long ago, that Africa, the continent, is 10 times bigger than India, the country. But India's population is bigger than Africa's. It's like almost the same. So, you know, there's vast areas of the continent that are uninhabited. I remember when we took a trip, when my mum passed, I wanted to trace some of her ancestry because we've got a, you know, got some Ghanaian, of course, then there's some Benin, some Togo.
How did you trace it?
Ancestry.
Oh, literally on Ancestry, in case anyone else wants to do the same.
Yeah, and it does keep shifting. So every now and then they'll send me a message and say, oh, we've updated your Ancestry, but I'm still from here. You know? And so we took a trip to the north of Ghana, and that was the first time that I actually felt a fear, and my heart was in my throat, because we were driving for ages and we got to a part where the land was really flat, so you could see everywhere, and there was nobody. And I kept saying, what if we break down? Have we got enough fuel? You know, what are we going to do? Because there were no other cars coming. Nothing. And that's when you get a sense of the vastness of the continent, and of Ghana, you know. So everything is kind of in Accra. I read somewhere as well that, and this is probably wrong, but something like 80% of all investment is in Accra.
I can imagine.
Yes. So if you come to Ghana and you come to Accra, Accra is not Ghana. You know, and there's only, and as we said, there's a European village now,
right,
which is where all the nice things, you know, the Western things are. And if you're outside of that, then it's still, you know, to me, this is quite developed now.
Yeah.
Because almost every plot, somebody is building on it. You know, the roads are not, they're not done, but there's another statistic that I can't remember, but the vast majority of roads in Ghana are not done.
Yeah.
And even in Accra, there's a lot of roads that are not done. Even when you go to Circle, places like Kokomlemle, you can, you know, you turn off the tarred road and you're on a, you know, and you're in the center of Accra, you know. So a lot of that is not shown on the YouTube videos. So when people come and they see some flies, or they see, you know, a lizard.
Oh, it's a bit dusty, the roads are bumpy.
The road is bumpy, you know, then they're surprised, you know, they're surprised.
Were you surprised?
Not at all. And even, you know, coming from the UK, as you know, the ideal for most people is not to live in the centre
in
of
London.
Town. No, it's to live
countryside.
That's
right.
To have some chickens, and even people will show off that they live off a country road.
Right, exactly.
If your road is rough, you know, and you have a little gate and lots of trees,
yeah,
and there's some weeds growing over your fence, then you've arrived.
That's right.
Whereas here, it's the opposite. You know, the closer you live to the airport,
the better, which I'll never understand quite, but it seems to be a thing. It seems to be a thing.
It's amazing. You know, some areas, should I name names?
Oh, name it. Name it. Bring it.
They're going to get me into trouble. But, okay, everyone loves East Legon.
Yeah.
Everybody loves. And if you're coming from the West and you want Western, East Legon is your place, because the roads are tarred. You know, you can drive for an hour, and you'll be turning here and the road is tarred. You'll turn there and the road is tarred. That's great. But when the planes take off every few minutes, you can see which airline it is, and your brain stops. You know, we used to go swimming in a sports centre in East Legon when the children were little. And, you know, I had lessons as well to encourage them to learn. And even when I'm under the water, you can hear the plane. And, you know, and your brain, you're trying to swim, you're facing the water, and then you just hear this
airplane,
terrible noise. And then you look up and you can say, okay, that's Ethiopian. Oh, it's Brussels.
It's Brussels this week. So is that why you chose to settle further out?
That's it.
Right.
Yes. I didn't want to live under the flight path of the airport. A friend was getting married a few years ago in East Legon, and their wedding, they had a few issues on the day of the wedding, because is it NADMO, the disaster people, you know, the people who they do simulations. They did a simulation of what would happen in East Legon if a plane crashed.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so on the day of the wedding, you know, on the streets of some parts of East Legon, they had people pretending to be...
No way!
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't even know that was a thing that happens, that they do. Wow.
Because it's right under the flight path.
Right, right.
You know, so for air pollution, it's not great. Noise pollution, it's not great. And just for safety, you know. So that was something we didn't want.
You didn't want.
Yes. And then also most of Accra is either sea level or below sea level. I can't remember which one. So we wanted to be on a hill.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so we came out. This hill is called Okai Hill.
Okay.
Or Okai Hill. And I think it's the Ga traditional area. And then just across the motorway, you've got Kwabenya, and it's very hilly there, going up into Ebury, that area. So when I first came here, I decided to call it the Beverly Hills of Accra. And everybody laughed at me. But as they say, they're not laughing now.
Right, it's developed a lot. So now that you've...